Long division. Here's our steps. This is what I want you to use to practice tonight. We're going to write the steps down and then we'll put them into practice. Step 1, divide. Step 2, multiply. Step 3, subtract. Step 4, bring down. These are the 4 steps of long division. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. And you do that over and over until you're done. Okay? The little, I've heard people use this before to help you remember what to do. It's like a family. It's the division family. Using the first letters, D, M, S, B. Dad, mom, sister, brother. Dad, mom, sister, brother. You just keep doing that. You keep remembering the division family until you get 0. When you subtract and you're done. Okay? Okay. When you're done, when you've done this the first time through, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, if your answer isn't 0, you go back to the top and start again.
What about remainders?
Okay? You repeat until you get 0 or a remainder. Until you get 0 or a remainder. I would prefer we go until we get 0. And that's what we'll practice today. Okay?
You guys hear that?
Ask me about this on the test. The remainder will always be whatever that number is that's left at the bottom over the divisor. So if you end up with, you do your divide, multiply, subtract, and you end up with a 3, and there's nothing else to bring down, it's 3 over the divisor. Okay? But we're going to practice going until we get 0 and trying to avoid remainders now. Let's do this. All right, I'm going to give you all these not set up as long division because that was another question that people were having is which one goes inside, which one goes outside. So let's make sure that we know. No, the smaller number, it doesn't matter which one's bigger, which one's smaller. This is how you know. Don't do that. Just a hand without its show would be great. Okay. Liam, what number goes inside?
I 182.
Yes. The first number. Here's the rule. It is not that the smaller number goes outside or the smaller number whatever. No. The first number goes inside. Because guess what? As you get farther in math, you're not always going to have a smaller number on the outside. Sometimes you have a bigger number on the outside and a smaller number on the inside or whatever. It is the first number goes inside. So here we go. 182 goes inside, divided by 7. Yes.
Oh, can I do it?
No. Okay, write this down in your notes. Shh. We're going to go through our steps. First step is to divide. So we need to look at our numbers. Does 7 go into 1? No. So I'm going to put a little X above the 1 so I don't get off on my places. Does 7 go into 18? Yes. How many times? 2. So we divided. 7 divides into 18 twice. 8 divided by 7 goes in 2 times. 2 times 7, that's our second step, multiply. 2 times 7 is 14. Step 3 is to subtract. We get 4. Step 4, yes, bring down. Do not put a 0, put an arrow. Those zeros are messing you up. I was seeing like tens of zeros just going down the page. Like that got super confusing. Bring down. And then we go back to the top. Divide. 42 divided by 7 is 6. Multiply. 6 times 7 is 42. Subtract. 0. Do we have anything else to bring down? No, and our answer is 0. We are done. So our quotient, the answer to our division problem, is 26. Okay? All right. Can you do this one on your own? Yeah. Okay, do it in your notes. Colin, tell me what to do.
So 965 goes in.
Very good. 965 is the dividend, goes inside. Yep.
5, and then 5 goes into 9 once.
Very good. 5 goes into 9 once.
Multiply that.
Yep.
Is 5.
Perfect.
9 minus 5 is 4.
Good.
Bring down 6.
Perfect. I'm going to pause right there.
9 times.
Good. Okay, 5 goes into 46 9 times.
45.
9 times 5, multiply is 45.
Minus.
Subtract.
Bring down the 5.
Perfect.
5 goes into 15 3 times.
Yes.
And then 3 times 5, 15. 0.
Okay, we end up with 0. We have nothing else to bring down, so we are done. Our quotient, the answer to a division problem, is 193. I understand that. Now this one is 2 digits. 2 digits, so 591 divided by 12. So we need to be looking how many times 12 goes into our dividend. Does 12 go into 5? No. So we'll put a little X here. Does 12 go into 59? Yes. How many? 4 times. So we divided. Next step is to multiply. 12 times 4 is 48. Subtract.
11.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah. Okay. We divide, multiply, subtract. Bring down.
111.
111. 12 goes into 111.
Because that's what that is.
Good. Subtract. What do we get?
3.
I'm going to have us do this one as a remainder, just because I'm not sure how far out it goes. Notice here, as this one's written, we don't have anything else to bring down. So we have this remainder, and we write our answer as remainder over divisor. And then we always have to simplify. So 49. Always simplify. You with me there? Okay. Now let's look at this. Can you do this one in your notes?
Do you want us to do the, like...
Hold on. Let me just see when I put this. Okay. We're going to do this later. Let's do this one with the remainder. Do this one and give it as a remainder. When you get to the end, give it a remainder. You can stop at the remainder. That's why we're practicing. Okay? Okay, I'm going to move forward. Okay, dividing with decimals. So this one I'm going to have you not do a remainder, and we're going to divide out until we get 0. So here's the rule. You are going to add zeros and a decimal to the end of your dividend as needed until you end up with a 0 remainder. You're going to add zeros and a decimal to the end of your dividend as needed. Use your steps until you get a 0 after your subtract. So I'll show you. We'll do examples of this.
Like the first lesson? Or is it different?
It's a little different. So the key here, you guys, is that what we're saying is if I have a whole number like 7, can this also be written as 7.0? Is that the same thing? What about 7.00? Yeah. What about 7.000? Yeah, so what we're doing is we're using the fact that that is the same as this to help us keep dividing until we get a 0 and we're done. Rather than a remainder, we'll get a decimal as our quotient. So let's look at what this looks like. 42 divided by 4. Here's what we're going to do. Set it up like long division. 42 is our dividend divided by 4. And we're just going to do our long division as usual, except we're not going to stop when we get to the remainder. 4 goes into 4 one time. Multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract. Bring down. Okay, 4 goes into 2. 0 times. I need to put a 0 here. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract. I don't have anything else to bring down. So this is where I'm going to put my decimal point. I've got to put a decimal because it's still a whole number 42. If I don't put a decimal, I change it from 42 to 420, and that's a different number. I put a decimal and a 0. And if I put a decimal in my divisor, where do I put it in my quotient?
Same place.
Right above. So make sure you add the decimal and the 0. Once I add that 0, I can bring it down. And now we restart our process. Divide. 4 goes into 20. 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And now look at what I get. I'm done, and I have a quotient that doesn't have a remainder. It's a complete quotient with a decimal. Let's do one more. 128 divided by 5. Let's do this one. I want you to divide it out until you get 0 in the remainder. So add a decimal point and a 0 until you finish. Okay, so we got to here. That's our remainder. It's not 0. So make sure you put a decimal point and a 0 and bring your decimal point up into your quotient. Then bring down. And now 5 goes into 30 6 times. And now I'm done. So my quotient is 25.6. Hold on, I'm gonna, let's do one more. This is our last one. Do this one in your notes. 673 divided by 4. This is the last one that we're gonna do to practice, and then I'll let you go and do your own practice on all of this stuff. No, that's wrong. Nope, that's wrong. Did everybody get here?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we end up with a remainder that's not 0. So we're going to add a decimal point and a 0. Bring it down and keep going. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 8. Are we done yet?
No.
No, so we need to add another 0 to bring down, because what we said is it doesn't matter if we have 673.0 or 0.00 or 0.0. We add as many zeros as we need until we end up with a 0. So now 4 goes into 20 how many times? 5. Now I'm running out of room. Multiply, subtract, and now we get our 0. We are done.